Hi, I'm Katie Ziskind, the owner of Wisdom Within Counseling and Coaching. You can book your free phone consultation for couples therapy and intimacy counseling at wisdomwithinct.com. This video is all about emotional intimacy because, in order to have an amazing, passionate, magical, and pleasurable sex life, we have to have the foundational building blocks of emotional intimacy. So, what is emotional intimacy anyway? Emotional intimacy is all about feeling loved, feeling supported, feeling desired, feeling safe, feeling secure, feeling like you can trust your partner. So, if there's been any wounds related to trust, if there's been criticism, name calling, even if you say sorry afterwards, right, these things can definitely have a huge impact in um, sexual rejection, sexual initiation, rejecting, if your partner initiates, rejecting them, being disinterested in sex entirely, having a low libido and a low sex drive. So we start to see changes in sexual interest in one another and sexual attraction if emotional intimacy is missing. So if you are in a relationship, let's say a long-term relationship, right? The beginning was amazing, you were super sexually attracted to each other, sex felt really good, but let's say 5 years down the road, 5 years, 10 years into the relationship, there was a trust wound. One of you may have been emotionally cheating. One of you may have been physically cheating. Maybe one of you was lying about something like credit card debt. There was a big secret that came out, some level of dishonesty. These kind of examples, not limited to these, but these examples can lead to lack of emotional intimacy. We also see emotional intimacy kind of needs being ignored when one person is like on their phone, when their partner is trying to talk to them. Maybe your partner is like making eye contact and you're just scrolling on social media. That breaks emotional intimacy. As well, when one person pulls away, right? So that could be physically pulling away if your partner tries to hold your hand. That could be, saying, I don't want to be kissed when your partner tries to kiss you, right? We have this pulling away. We have spending more time with coworkers, with friends, with other people outside of your romantic partner. Maybe there's a break in emotional intimacy because one or both of you have been confiding in and sharing secrets with someone outside of your relationship. So these things can lead to insecurity in a relationship and can kind of cause sexual challenges. So if you're looking to build emotional intimacy, you want to make sure that you and your partner have rituals of connection. So for the first 10 minutes of every day and for the last 10 minutes of every day, you could do something like eye gazing, laying in bed, cuddling each other, spooning, feeling each other's bellies or palms, or just gently drawing your fingertips across your partner's forearms, or just playing with their ears and their hair. Some couples really love giving each other head scratches or back rubs. And this 10 minutes every morning and every evening is going to help you feel close and connected emotionally. And a lot of times couples who lack emotional intimacy might be going to bed at different times, which may be, challenging due to work schedules. But if you're both home, if you're both in the same place, if you're both kind of nearby each other, making this intentional ritual of connection to see each other, before you both fall asleep, that can really improve emotional intimacy. Another thing too is to check in throughout the day. We have cell phones, so we can text each other. So text your partner, check in on them. How's your day going? How was that big meeting you were telling me about? Checking in on your partner's feelings and the other stressors in their life. So knowing what's going on in your partner's life can help improve emotional intimacy. So maybe your partner's mom is having health issues and you just let them know that you remember that they shared that with you. So how's your mom doing? How was her surgery? I know that is really stressful and worrisome for you. I'm here if you need me. Checking in on those emotional aspects will build a sense of closeness in your relationship. And it's not something where, you can really do this too much. It's very, very rare to find couples that have too much emotional intimacy. It's not something that will ever harm you, checking in on your partner and how they're doing and how they're feeling. Um, I think another thing to talk about when we look at emotional intimacy is building relationship security. So, when your partner is crying, knowing how to comfort them, knowing what they like for comfort. Some people, when they cry, need a little space. Some people want a big hug. Some people want someone to tell them reassuring things like everything's going to be okay. Talk to your partner about what they need when they're distressed and when they're upset. And when your partner is crying, it's not their very best moment. They're usually in a raw and vulnerable state. And your partner crying is actually a good sign that they feel close sharing their emotions with you. But if you walk the other way, if you tell them to stop crying, if you tell them they're crocodile tears, or you tell them, oh, just suck it up, don't be a baby, right? These actually break the opportunity for emotional intimacy. So when your partner's crying, let them know, hey, it's okay to cry. Like, thank you so much for sharing your feelings with me. Like, I love that you feel so safe to show this side of yourself to me, right? Like, that is stepping into emotional intimacy. And a lot of times, when I work with couples in my office, they do not know how to step into emotional intimacy in these really raw moments. So one person's crying, one person's upset, and the other person is just kind of like a rock, may not have the tools, may not know how to comfort, may not know how to build intimacy in that moment. So we can help you at Wisdom Within Counseling and Coaching if you struggle with that. The last thing someone needs when they are crying is to be made fun of or to be told that they are alone in this world. And certain behaviors can come off like that. So the goals of emotional intimacy are helping your partner feel important, helping your partner's, worries matter to you, letting your partner know that they're seen and valued, whether that's physically, emotionally, sexually. And the emotional security, feeling seen, feeling witnessed, feeling important, feeling like they are a fascinating creature to you, that all creates a healthy sex life. So, like, when your partner calls you on the phone, not ignoring their call because you have something better to do, that can cause your partner to feel taken for granted. If your partner calls and you're not able to get that phone call, texting them right away and saying, hey, I'm so glad you called. Thanks for thinking of me. I can't call you right now, but I can call you in an hour, right? So a lot of times one person might be initiating things and the other person might not realize how that is causing their partner to feel, right? So, the partner who, called and then their call was ignored, just needs acknowledgement that, hey, I went to an effort to reach out to you and check in on you, versus going 12 plus hours not speaking, or not talking to each other. So little talking, little moments of talking throughout the day is actually really helpful. And acknowledging and letting your partner know that you see the efforts they're making, even if you can't meet those needs in that moment. And then the last thing is, around emotional intimacy, is really being your partner's number one fan. So a lot of times when we get into long-term emotional connected, marriages and relationships, it can be a slippery slope where partners start taking each other for granted. There are certain things in the relationship that are going super well, and those are easy. And then the things that are hard, we usually just there's this garden. Imagine a garden, of really difficult parts of your relationship, and couples stop tending to that garden. So a garden needs to be weeded. There needs to be new soil. We need sunlight. We need water, right? And if this garden is not getting any of those things, it will die, right? So the hard things, the difficult areas of your relationship, those uncomfortable conversations need tending to. And a lot of couples start ignoring them and they snowball. And whether that's, something related to a financial conversation, or, something you've been avoiding or feeling under pressure about something. And couples avoid talking about sex. They avoid talking about intimacy. They avoid talking, about, hey, I felt really unimportant and lonely today, because of this. And I just wanted to tell you, right? Couples don't like confrontation, right? So we often naturally don't share things with a partner because we're afraid of rejection, or afraid we're going to make them unhappy, because in childhood when we made a parent unhappy, there was like a major consequence, or we were punished really horribly, and that same energy comes into partnership. So, if you had a parent that had extreme emotional reactions when you made them unhappy, like, it's normal to not want to make your partner unhappy or be afraid that your partner will be unhappy forever if you say something they don't like. But in counseling, we look at sharing feelings as a source of vulnerability and confidence and actually building emotional intimacy. And we can walk you through what that looks like, nice and slowly, so it doesn't escalate into anything negative. And you can do that in the safety of a counseling session. So, knowing that if you feel distress of any kind, whether that's sadness, tell your partner, frustration, tell your partner, happiness, gratitude, tell your partner. Have these emotional conversations, and really start to be vulnerable together to build a relationship security. And you'll see that this has incredible ripple effects in terms of sexual pleasure, sexual openness, sexual expression. And intimacy as a whole. So, if you're looking to get started working with an intimacy specialist and someone that can help you overcome different sexual issues and build a passionate, meaningful sex life, you can book your free phone consultation at wisdomwithinct.com. That's wisdomwithinct.com. And I'm Katie Ziskind, the owner of Wisdom Within Counseling and Coaching. I hope you enjoyed this video.